Good morning, coolest coast. It is time for Coffee on the Coast. Good morning, coolest coast. Welcome to this episode of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host this morning, Tina Prigge. Delighted to welcome back to our show, Dylan Chmura-Moore. He is the music director of Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. Dylan, so glad to see you.
Thank you for having me as always. I love being on with you.
Thank you. And what I love about it too is that it means there is a new performance coming up by Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. Let's tell viewers what we're talking about.
Saturday. Nope, just kidding. Sunday, December 10th. So often on a Saturday, I just went into the habit. Sunday, December 10th. Sunday at 3 p.m. We are singing with Santa. We're bringing presents to the lakeshore. By presents, we mean all kinds of lovely music, lovely song, lovely story time, and lovely fun instruments like everyone's favorite, sleigh bells. There's nothing more holiday, I think, than sleigh bells. We should walk around downtown just with sleigh bells everywhere you go. On our shoes, on our hats, on our mittens, on our gloves. It just should be the sound of the season, I think.
I think it really is the sound of the season. Like when you hear the sound of a sleigh bell, you are immediately just in the mood. Like everything else falls away. You know exactly what season it is, how you're supposed to feel, right? Filled with the spirit. It's pretty awesome.
And we don't spend much time, it doesn't seem like anymore, on the backs of horses or cows or what have you, hearing these sleigh bells in the distance. So it really does mean something special about the season. No more bovines, more holidays and things. The concert's full of fun little instruments, fun little toys, fun little explorations into this season and sounds that make it so special to us.
So you just played the triangle for us. Will there also be a cowbell?
No, unfortunately. But the new cowbell, what would the new cowbell be? Perhaps the ratchet. Perhaps this is the quail. See if I can do it right. Right. We can go duck hunting or what have you afterwards. All kinds of fun bird sounds. Let's see. And the last one. So why am I playing weird sounding instruments, I guess,
yes,
right now?
Tell us.
I just don't have these trinkets laying around all the time. So one of the pieces that we're playing is a symphony by Haydn. And actually, we don't even know if Haydn wrote it, but it's who I like to attribute to. It was originally attributed to him, so it's the story I'd like to tell. It's full of lovely, fun, jokey things, and so that's all Haydn, and so I want to lean into that. But he supposedly was out at a holiday market one time, one of those traditional German things that we all read in stories about if you've never traveled abroad to it. And he was out at just shopping about, and he saw all these wonderful, noisy toys, just like I played for you just now. And he brought them home, and of course he's a musician, so he wrote a symphony using these instruments and performed it for his family at a Christmas time concerts, and a new tradition was formed. So we are reliving that today. And instead of Haydn performing some of these instruments, we've got, in no particular order, alphabetical, I suppose, Greg Buckley from Two Rivers, our city manager there. I'm involved in it. The narrator, who happens to be my spouse, is involved in it. Kevin Crawford, a former mayor of Manitowoc, is playing the Nightingale. Julie Grossman is CEO of the Y. She's playing the Cuckoo. Justin Nichols, our current mayor, is playing recorder. Greg Vadney is playing the triangle that I dinged for you. And Jamie Zastro is playing the ratchet, which I also played for you, who's Progress Lakeshore and on the board of, I think, the president of the board of the Maritime Museum. It's leaders in the community are coming together to kind of make fun of themselves. I'm just kidding. But they are our concerto soloists who will stand in front of the orchestra and play all these fun little sounds and toys, leaning into what the season's about. It's about family. It's about youth. It's about bringing back our youth, even if we're at 92, and just having a good time, letting our hair down and singing with the season.
Yeah, this concert is going to be a blast from ages 1 to 92. And so you've got these local celebrities lined up to join you on these fun toy instruments while the symphony is playing. And this is just a small portion of the amazing things that you've got planned for us. So I want to reiterate that this is on Sunday, like you said, December 10th.
And is it what I said? Is it what I said?
And it's a 3 p.m. matinee. So that really makes it, I think, accessible, right? So families with kids, one thing the symphony is doing is kids 8 and under are free. So they don't even need a ticket to enter. And you're going to have Santa there, photo ops with Santa, doors open at 2 for that, all before the concert starts. Let's talk more about what's going to happen during the concert. You've got this, so you've got the music by Haydn. You've got the timeless classic carols of John Rutter. I think also Robert Shaw and Bizet.
So if you've ever heard a holiday album, I'm sure we've all heard our old collections of CDs or what have you. There was probably some singers on those holiday albums, and if there was any kind of choral music at all, and I'm sure we've all heard many of them, it was probably either the John Rutter Cambridge Singers, something that he founded, a choir from Cambridge, England, that he founded, or the Robert Shaw Chorale, which was formed by Robert Shaw. And so these two individuals are luminaries, not just in the choral world of the last 100 years, but also of, well, these hymns and carols and anthems and things of the season. And so we are leaning into that great honorable tradition, things that have become the soundscape for our holiday season over the last 60 odd years, and still being rewritten and imagined today. New carols will be shared with us from some of these luminaries, and helping us lean into this idea of song are two choirs. We're going to have probably 80-ish, I haven't counted them up, 80 singers on stage with the orchestra. I don't know how we're going to fit, but we'll find a way to squeeze in there. We've got the Capital Civic Center Community Chorale, led by Jim and Susie Miller. And we've also got the Lincoln High School Chamber Choir, and that's led by David Bowman. And if you didn't know, this is his last year. He's made an announcement. It's not new.
No, I didn't know that.
At the high school, 21. I'm not sure how many years he's been there. Maybe more than that. We need to do a lot more to honor him. But this is a small way where we can cherish all that he's given to the community over his last couple decades at Lincoln. And so both of these choirs on stage and singing for these timeless Rutter chorales and Shaw music that is just, again, established what we think about when we think about holiday music in the season.
Yeah. So when the symphony is practicing and rehearsing for this performance, does this keep you in like the holiday spirit for months in advance of the rest of us?
So those are absolutely that are in the industry. The holiday season just doesn't happen when it starts getting cold out or what have you. Our holiday season usually begins somewhere around May. Because that's when we need to secure the music, arrange the music, write the music. And so most of the really famous holiday tunes that we all know and love, I don't know, Silver Bells, Sleigh Ride, and countless others, were all written in like heat waves in the summer, perhaps in LA, whatever. And it's just because they had a commission, they had to get it out and published whatever for the holidays. And so they're imagining what winter was. And maybe that's even the best, because then it's, you're longing for something. It's really full of all just love. It's not the misery that we maybe have, in late February and we're so done with it. No. This is all just pure love and joy and fascination. And so, yes. Summer is holidays. It's weird how it's flipped for us.
Okay, and so then a story by Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about this, leaning more into the youth, into the kids, and not just the literal ages of them, but us all going back to that time. One reasons why we love, I think, the holidays is because of our traditions and our memories of what we had throughout our life when we were kids, with our grandkids, what have you. And so in the 70s, the very, very, very famous George Balanchine, who is kind of like the godfather, the dean of American ballet in a lot of ways, New York City Ballet, American Ballet Theater. I'm forgetting the exact title of it. He's probably the most important choreography in American ballet history. In the 70s, he wanted and needed wanted to create a new kind of holiday tradition. So we all love the Nutcracker, of course, but it's an hour and a half, if not more, and it's a whole thing. And not that it's not amazing and brilliant. All hail the Nutcracker, but George Balanchine was looking for a complement to that, and so he wanted the same kind of lean into Christian themes and wanted to tell a story. And so he brought back the Hans Christian Andersen story, The Steadfast Tin Soldier, which is a 10-minute thing versus a read or whatever, versus the full thick book of the Nutcracker. That will take you a couple days maybe to get through it. So he imagined a new ballet in '75. And wanted to tell the tale of this steadfast tin soldier. And if you don't know it, well, watch Disney 2000, the new Disney version. They brought it back. They were inspired by Balanchine and did their own version of this holiday carol. And so we're leaning into Balanchine's idea and having a narrator on stage telling a new retelling that I put together of this timeless tale, this timeless story that has great themes and great ideas. It's a love story. It's a heroic battle. It's about trust and honor and devotion. It's fantastic. And so the very special narrator for this happens to be my spouse, who is this amazing artistic individual. I won't go into her accolades, but she is not a thespian by trade, but she probably should be. What made me think of her hilariously is we've got some friends in Hollywood and such, and they were like, Sharon, every time they see her, they say, Sharon, you've got a great voice. You really need to do voiceover work for films. And so she has not done voiceover work for films, but we always make fun about it. And so she's going to be leaning her expert vocal skills, whatever, talents, to reading this wonderful story for the young and old that has all the great themes and stories and pageantry of the Nutcracker, but really succinct.
And it's also set to music.
And it's set to music. So during the music, over the music, in between the music, and silences, we tell the story of the steadfast tin soldier. And it will become a new tradition if it's not already for you.
Oh, it sounds beautiful. And so regarding the music, is that the Bizet
So that is Bizet. Okay. So Balanchine took something by Bizet, Georges Bizet, who is very famous. You maybe don't know his name, but Carmen. He is the author of the opera Carmen, and so he's a great storyteller. He writes some of the most sensational and tuneful music ever. And so he instead of doing the big gigantic 3-hour opera of Carmen, he wrote a 16-minute piece called Petite Suite. And I think maybe, is pun intended. It's not just small, petite, but it's also for kids. It was originally from all the music called Children's Games. So there's lots of little fun puns things in here. And so this children's music set to a children's story is the backdrop, is the tapestry, full of dance, full of great song that sets the mood and sets the story, and pretty accurately follows through the exploits and the adventures of our tin soldier.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. Okay, so not only is that story going to be narrated, but you have a special MC for the whole event. Can you tell us more about that?
We are very lucky to have a celebrity journalist, award-winning journalist with us, Michelle McCormick from Local 5, who is going to be down speaking between our musics, introducing what we're going to play next, and really bringing all the pageantry to a focus. I feel okay with what I do with my hands, and she does very well with telling the story with her words. So she'll be conducting from a different kind of podium on the side of the stage, helping the whole audience go on the same journey through this exploration of music and song and tradition that only someone with her accolades and talent can do.
Oh, that's fantastic. And this is all happening on the stage of the Capitol Civic Center.
Capitol Civic Center, 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay, tickets are now on sale. Again, kids 8 and under are free. And there's also, you were just talking about Michelle McCormick. In case somebody doesn't know, I'm going to put up a quick picture. This is Michelle McCormick from Local 5. She's going to be the MC of the event. But what I was going to mention, too, is there's a collaboration with the Courthouse Pub. And so when you buy your tickets, you can get an add-on and have dinner, either dine in or curbside pickup, and really make an evening of it.
It'll be a fantastic whole experience. If you like dinner and a show, this is matinee and a meal. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Well, we did this last year as well. It was sold out. The food was great. and specialty cocktails, specially prepared meals just for us. They close down the pub, if you didn't know, on most, if not all, Sundays, for special events. And we are a special event, so they are opening just for us, and just for our patrons, and just for those who have this special ticket. So it will sell out, I am sure. Again, don't miss out on that extra special something that's going to happen. I will also say, in leading up to the concert, this wasn't on our agenda to talk about, but at the public library, the previous Sunday, so that's Sunday the 3rd, if I'm getting my dates correctly, we are going to have a string quartet performance at the library with a whole bunch of other live painting and other live music, some jazz, some caroling, in the whole backdrop of our evergleam forest that is being put on by the library, like last year. And so we'll have a string quartet from the MSO come out to round out the festivities this afternoon. So from 1 to 4 on this Sunday coming up, and at 2 o'clock in particular, our MSO will perform. And it's a way to, besides the parade, kick off the holiday season, welcome more family into a relaxed, easy adventure, and take in the sights and sounds that literally only Manitowoc has to offer.
Right. Wow. I mean, a person can be completely filled with the Christmas spirit by participating in these events. And I just want to recap. So Sunday, December 10th, 3:00 p.m. It is a matinee. It is on Sunday. It's Let's Sing with Santa, presented by the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. Plus, they're going to have guest MC Michelle McCormick from Local 5, the voices of the CCC Community Chorale under the direction of Jim and Susie Miller, the Lincoln High School Chamber Choir under the direction of David Bowman. There's a special dinner offer with the Courthouse Pub. Santa will be there for a photo op. Kids 8 and under are free. Dylan, this is incredible. The local celebrities that Dylan mentioned will be joining to play the toys during the Haydn Toy Symphony.
And Santa Claus.
And Santa!
I grew up having the tradition of going and sitting on Santa's lap and having the picture taken and all those kinds of things. We still have that. So 2 o'clock on Sunday, you can come early and get your photo with Santa. I got my photo with Santa as well last year. I will do it again. We'll take a better picture this time. My eyes were closed, and it's fantastic.
If you want any more information or to get tickets, visit manitowocsymphony.org. Dylan, is there anything else you want our viewers to know?
If you're unsure about the music, we're hitting you from all the angles. This is music for you. You can go on our Spotify playlist. You can find that on our website. You can find that on social media, or just Google Spotify Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. I'm sure you'll find it that way. But all the tunes that we're going to be playing is there in case you need to be I don't know, made to feel welcome, to know what you're going to get into. There's you will love it, and if you already know the music, you know you're going to love it. You already have your ticket. We'll put it on the background while you're work or what have you in the car, and turn those around you onto what you love.
We are in for a very jolly and merry season, thanks to the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra.
Thanks for having me.
All right, my guest today, Dylan Chmura-Moore, musical director of Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. I'm your host, Tina Prigge, Coffee on the Coast. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We'll see you next time, everyone. Take care.